and welcome to the Imperium. I have made one video about pirate software, but since then he did 500,000 of things. And one of them that stood out to me, of course, actually everything that he did so far is pretty damn crazy, but one thing that I didn't see many people cover is the fact that he actually claimed that he got swatted. And not only once, but 2 times. So I decided to take it to X and also to research a bit, and then after the end of it all, I just asked Grok to make like a combination of everything that Grok could find on this matter, and I'm gonna read you what it came out. So Jason Thor Hall, known as Pirate Software, claimed he was swatted on July 1st, 2025, and received thousands of death threats amid the Stop Killing Games controversy. He mentioned this during a Twitch stream, stating the swatting occurred on Tuesday and he and his moderation team face significant harassment. Additionally, a post on X from Bowling Comics on July 7, 2025, claimed Thor was swatted twice the previous week and mentioned rumors of a lawsuit, though no further details or evidence of the second swatting were provided. Great, guys. There's even an article here, actually, which is interesting. So this comes from Game Rant. Pirate Software swatted and said thousands of death threats. Thousands, he said. And remember, guys, if you watched, of course, the upper echelon, he just decided to make a video and basically say, oh, it is so bad when you attack someone and he gets so much hate and death threats, and I know how this feels because I was there. I also had this happen to me, and I'm like, why are you defending the guy? And yeah, I know that it's very bad, and I will never send anyone to SWAT or send anyone to harass anyone at all on the internet, so don't go to Pirate Software to harass him. Whatever I cover, it's not ever intended to make people go and SWAT someone. But to spin your whole video, upper echelon, around how poor guy, he experienced so much hate, and by this point it's just mob mentality. It's like saying that there is no merit to this types of attacks.
Atmosphere shift where hating pirate software is the trendy thing to be doing. As a result, millions upon millions of people have now seen his content under the worst contextual circumstances possible for him, which leaves him with an immutably stubborn response to a brute force-minded internet mob which continues to linger, possibly even grow larger, month after month, constantly circling back stronger after each new skirmish with them. I don't even know if there is a valid way out of it for him at this point. If he did issue like a thoughtful response and apologize to everyone, it would take a monumental shift in coverage from a slew of creators all simultaneously to even make a dent in the current narrative. But the final message that I have for anyone who watches this video is that none of you actually know what it's like to go through that.
Yeah, there are some people that are pretty easily manipulated, and when they're angry, even if they do have a lot of reasons to be angry, they go overboard and they really send threats to people, and that's not okay. You can dislike someone on the internet, you cannot agree with them, you can have different opinion than them, you can totally feel disappointed or whatever, and in this case, when it comes to pirate software, I think a lot of people, and myself included, were just baffled. Like, why is this guy against this initiative, whereas one of the most amazing things that could happen to all gamers, because we are all consumers of games and we want to have the games that we paid for. We just want to own the games like it used to be. So this is just very normal thing, and whatever is in this initiative is going to be applied later on in the future games, and not now on the current game. So if you're a developer, you just have to design your game in such a way that in the future you'll be able to just leave it in the hands of people. Not the rights to the game, not the rights to anything, just the game itself, because you're not gonna be using it anyway. You want to take it down from the internet anyway. But just by leaving it in some kind of a state so people can still play it and connect to each other, or whatever the case may be, depending on the game, you know, it could be a single player game, it could be a multiplayer, we don't know, but whatever the case may be, there's going to be rules case by case basis. So he should not be against this. I know that he's a developer, but it kind of seems like his code freaking sucks, like we saw from Coding Jesus here.
Guys, Coding Jesus here. Guys, today we will be doing a code review of a popular YouTuber and streamer and have gone over his employment history and timeline. But what I want to do that I guess would make this video unique is go over his actual code from his developer live streams and analyze whether this guy has the skills that he claims he has as a 20-year veteran and game developer working for Blizzard and other game publishers. Is electric equals false? And then pass that into the construction of car. That is the bare minimum. That's what I would expect out of an intern that's fresh out of school. Taking that a step further, you can implement a concept called strong typing, which is the most expressive form of instantiation. What we can do in that case is define an alias at the bare minimum or a class, and we can call it horsepower. And then we can create an enumeration for things like transmission or fuel. And then we'd alter the car's constructor and pass in that information: horsepower 98, door number 4, transmission automatic, fuel gasoline. You don't need to be a game developer to know that that's a lot more maintainable than whatever Thor has here.
And that is just pretty freaking hilarious, because it kind of turns out that Pirate Software, Mr. Thor, which, by the way, the word Thor in my language, Bulgarian, literally Thor means dirt. So that's something funny that I also sent to Smash JT the other day. It's just funny. I mean, it's not connected. It's kind of funny. So it kind of seems that Thor is incompetent even as a game developer, which is a bit of a different topic. We're gonna get to this Game Rant article in just a second here. But yeah, it kind of seems that he is even incompetent in his own code, because I also have a friend that's a gaming developer and he did confirm what Coding Jesus is saying. It doesn't look good for him, and that can explain why his own game has been in early access for years and years. Getting back to the article here, Pirate Software swatted and has received thousands of death threats. Pirate Software is a Twitch streamer and a game developer whose indie RPG, Hardbound, has been available in early access since 2018. Okay, so yeah, it's not 10 years, but it's certainly a lot of freaking years. And it's like a very simple pixel freaking game from 100 years ago. It's a very, very retro game, so I would imagine that this would be easier to do than just a normal 3D world kind of a game. Recent years have seen Pirate Software focus on streaming alongside game development and other ventures. Earlier this year, Pirate Software was a part of the hardcore World of Warcraft Classic Guild, OnlyFans. OnlyFunks? OnlyFunks? That's so funny. His tenure with the group ended in a disaster after multiple guild members died during a dire Mount North run, therefore losing their characters forever. Pirate Software's decision to run away from his teammates and his comments about the situations were hotly criticized. Shortly after, he was kicked out of the OnlyFunks guild. Now, Pirate Software has once again found himself the target of significant online criticism, this time thanks to comments made about the Stop Killing Game initiative. The Stop Killing Games initiative aims to preserve access to online-only games after they are shut down. No, that's actually not true. The Stop Killing Games initiative aims to preserve all games, no matter what games, even the online games, but absolutely all games. The hope is that video game companies will have to have some kind of an end-of-life plan in place for their live service and other online-only games that leaves the content in some form of playable state, whether that's through fan-hosted servers, offline modes, some kind of single-player conversion, or whatever else. No, there's nothing. I mean, I'm not sure how, but this article actually got it wrong. It's not about single-player conversion. That's not what Ross was talking about. That is actually something that Mr. Thor here tried to push as an information. No, the initiative is about preserving games and not taking them offline, because then we have piracy, and piracy is actually working to preserve games, and it did, and it keeps preserving games. I'm not sure how many years, but more than 10 years ago, actually piracy is working towards preserving games. We can talk a lot about that, that's another topic. But Ross never freaking said single player conversion. That's literally something that Thor said, and that is why his misinformation was so bad. Because now we actually find misinformation in this freaking article that Game Rant did. Like, what are you guys talking about? Online only games. No, that's not about it. Like, look at Anthem, for example. Anthem could be just left as it is. Maybe people can connect to it if they have their own servers. Just, the game should be just left alone. And now EA is just going to pull the game completely from the internet. And I also have the game on Origin, by the way. I got the game code years ago. They are just going to completely pull it, and when I go to my Origin, this game will no longer be there, so I cannot go run around, even fly alone on this map if I want to. Stop killing games. It's all about preserving games, all games, just letting people access them after they are no longer supported. And there are other examples. You have Sega trying to pull normal games, old games from Steam with no reason at all. They just gonna pull the game and that's it. If it's still in your library, you're gonna be able to play it, but you will never be able to buy it again. And of course we have freaking Ubisoft, as I mentioned, which they just decided to pull the crew completely offline, and now you can't even play the single player part of the game. You can't play anything. So stop killing games. It's about that. It's about preserving all games going forward if a law in the EU is accepted where it makes possible for us to actually have rights and for games to be preserved. So let's continue, guys, because I don't know how many things they got wrong, if they got anything else wrong actually. The initiative has seen a great deal of support from customers, but has also faced some criticism, perhaps most notably from Pirate Software. Yeah, which is absolutely unwarranted and baseless. My main issue with this initiative, it is broad in its approach to change the industry and the exact language of the initiative. Now, the language is pretty clear, so he's just making stuff up here. Not the fact requests that all games stay in a functional playable state. This is not feasible for all games at all technical level and could potentially restrict developers from making online-only games like MMOs, MOBAs, and user-generated content games in the future. Well, that's absolute nonsense. Any game can be preserved and any game can plan for end of life. So that is absolutely stupid. And we already see also Valve doing something about this. They have their own ways of doing this. This is unwarranted, baseless, just doesn't make any sense. That list is not exhaustive, and it doesn't matter if you do or don't like these kinds of games. Effectively, this has the potential to restrict future developers from making kick-ass experiences because it locks a weight on their design, which is absolute nonsense again. Even though this is an initiative that can change in the future, this goal is core to the mission and deeply disruptive, so it needs to be called out. Pirate Software explained on Twitter. Yeah, well, he is absolutely incorrect, and that's pretty disgusting coming from a gaming developer who are supposed to watch out for gamers' best interest, and he doesn't do that. He doesn't care. Pirate Software's stance on stop killing games has led to death threats and swatting. As reported by Dextero, Pirate Software said in a recent Twitch stream that he was swatted on Tuesday, July 1st, and that he and his moderation team have been set tens of thousands of death threats. How did he count that? I don't know. Pirate Software added, I'm going to be honest with you. When is he honest? Like, everything that he said so far, he lied about everything that he ever said. Even his code's quality by this point. I hope that your initiative gets everything that you ask for, but nothing you wanted. And I'll leave it there. Well, he's just evil. That's what I can say. He's just damn spiteful and evil, and that is just low. It's just low and disgusting. The Stop Killing Games petition has exploded in popularity this month, likely getting some renewed attention thanks to the Pirate Software drama. It has bumped up to 1,175,179 signatures at the time of this writing, and it will be interesting to see what happens with it moving forward. Well, right now it's pretty damn big. Actually, right now it's even bigger than that. Let's get back to Twitter and see what Grok was able to gather here. However, skepticism exists. Some ex-users like Cyan Hawk question the lack of the video or tangible proof, noting that other streamers typically share evidence of swatting incidents, suggesting Thor's claim might be a tactic to deflect criticism. Another user, Double Ganger of Love or something, stated after researching that they found no evidence of Thor being swatted, no official police reports or concentrated evidence, such as videos or screenshots, were found in the available sources to confirm the swatting incidents. Given the conflicting statements and lack of verifiable evidence beyond Thor's own statements, the claims of swatting remain inconclusive. Swatting is a serious crime, but without official documentation or corroborating evidence, it's challenging to confirm the specific incidents. Yeah, we know that. Then below there are some relevant posts on X directly questioning or expressing skepticism about Jason Thor Hall's pirate software claims of being swatted as per your request. Yeah, because I requested this, of course. So, Pirate Nation says something weird about him saying he got swatted, namely that just a year or so prior, he had an entire short talking about how you can avoid being swatted. Constantly bragged about how he doxed himself with false information more than 4 times. Something's not adding up. So then discount. I want to preface by saying that yes, I do 100% agree with you. Death threats are never okay and should never be championed. That being said, Thor has been caught lying many times throughout this whole thing, so at least for me, I'm hesitant to believe him. After googling it and looking through Pirate Software account, he wasn't swatted. Yep, I'm pretty sure he wasn't. And lastly, every other streamer who have been swatted has posted videos and proof of it's happening, but then there's Thor who is under fire just saying it happened, sorry, but it looks like a tactic to redirect the heat he's getting for his terrible take and huge ego. Imagine that. And somebody says, asking does not provide proof, buddy. Also, let's remember, the guy just instantly blocks people who question him. 0 chance he'd ever respond. 100% I just got blocked. You wanna make a claim that's wild? Prove it. Call his PD. Okay, is that not weird? Yeah, I'm not yet, by the way, blocked by Pirate Software. So no, I'm not blocked, okay. Because this is pretty freaking cute. Like, I mean, I love anything that has to do with animals. I really hope that he takes care of that amazing buddy here. Hopefully, because if there's anything that makes me very angry, it's if you don't take care of your animals here. So yeah. So what do you think, guys? Did Pirate Software actually get swatted? I definitely don't think so. Did Pirate Software get the voice modulator to change his voice? Because it kind of seems like it. He sounds very different outside of his YouTube videos, and he just says that his voice mutated again, going through second puberty in his 30s, which sounds absolutely ridiculous.
Went back to the doctor. Doctor's like, hey, sometimes in your early 30s, your voice can change as a man, and it's effectively second puberty. This is what I used to sound like. That's what I used to look like too, 5 years ago. Wait for this. This is awful.
My hot dogs are freshly picked. I'm gonna have to peel it. I'm gonna have to peel my hot dog.
Yeah, that was it, dude.
Every good hot dog needs to be peeled.
So yeah, what do you think, guys? Let me know down below. If you like to support me, everything is down there. In case you see and get really shocked that I have an OnlyFans, don't be shocked, because I do use OnlyFans only for coaching services. Yes, seriously, I do. I teach there fitness, health, nutrition, some sex education, which just means that I'm talking about different topics that people have issues with their intimate lives. That's it. I'm just helping people. I'm showing my physique in a censored manner, how I am sustaining a very lean physique for 10 years and healthy and all those things. And Pirate Software should really work out, because first time I saw him, he just looks like one of those women that you're used to seeing everywhere, like classical lesbian women that look like Harry Potter. That is what I thought when I first saw his picture when this whole thing started. So he really needs to work out. He was fatter before, now he did lose some weight, which is great, but he would definitely benefit from some working out and getting less of a classical gamer developer physique. I think that's going to be very healthy for him, and he's going to develop some discipline and maybe more self-respect. So yeah, guys, till next time, at me, the 40k Empress. Love you so. Bye bye.
For the imperium must not fail. Imperium we prevail. purpose, burning crystal bright, to lift the throne world from its plight and guard humanity's light.